gold! Guys, you're not gonna freaking believe this. Check this out. Ah! Oh my God! It works so good! My car just went from midlife crisis mobile to midlife crisis mobile that freaking glows! Today, in partnership with dbrand, we're announcing the most high-tech skin they have ever concocted in 3 different colorways: glow, dark, and short circuit. And we thought, what better way to show off how flipping cool it is than to wrap my entire car in glow? Feel cool yet?
I'm in a Porsche.
We're gonna show you guys how it works after we show you this message from our sponsor. MSI. Save big on your next laptop with their Fall Ready Haul sale. Check out the thin and light Stealth A16 AI Plus, which shines running AAA games thanks to its 4070 GPU and 240 Hz display. We're gonna have that and more deals linked in the video description. That was freaking sick! I hope. I mean, I'm past Linus, and we still have to wrap the car, and we still have to make it glow.
Fortunately, we have pros to wrap the car, at least.
Leaving us with the glow. Now, as you might have already guessed, the new glow circuit skins, and soon to be my car, are glow in the dark, or as the fancy boys would call it,
phosphorescent, a type of photoluminescence. When these kinds of materials are lit up, they can become photoexcited, a process in which photons from the light excite electrons in the material to a higher energy state, storing the light's energy. It's mine. The excited electrons can then either fluoresce or drop to a lower but still excited intermediate level and stay there for some period of time. Then, with the help of a bit of thermal energy or heat, a relaxation can occur, allowing the electrons to chill out and release their extra excitement or energy as photons, otherwise known as light, or in this case, glow.
So TLDR, you use light to charge glow-in-the-dark stuff. Except, if you've ever been a child, you probably remember that when you play around with this stuff, the only time the effect really pops is when you supercharge it and then immediately go to pitch blackness. Something that isn't very likely to happen under normal driving conditions. So what can we do? The most obvious option would be to just leave my garage lights on all the time. That way, anytime I wanted to go out for a night drive, my car would be fully charged and ready to go. Here's the thing that Professor Riley left out. Phosphorescent materials don't react to all parts of the light spectrum equally. So if you look at these 2 flashlights, one of them is going to appear brighter. When I point both of them at my glow material, you can see that one is obviously more effective. Replace my garage light fixtures with black lights. I'm kidding, honey, don't kill me. My wife lets me get away with a lot, but that isn't gonna be it. So there's a few examples of Yvonne putting up with a lot. So our goal then is to get as much of the right wavelength light as close to the car as possible, ideally without spending a fortune. So I did what any sane YouTuber would do and bought a whole bunch of different black lights for science. Tell me about these agricultural lights.
You mean grow lights?
Well, yeah.
They daisy chain together, they're cheap, and they cover a lot of area.
Wow, that definitely pops. The light color is actually not the same as my other black light.
The color doesn't tell the full story though.
Well, here's the thing. Traditionally, commercial black lights average in the 365 nanometer range, which apparently is the best for glow-in-the-dark material charging, but
That assumes the quality control is up to snuff.
which one do you want next?
Do you want the fire hazard?
Sure, is this the fire hazard? It looks like a fire hazard.
It kind of feels like a fire hazard.
Well, they're individual, they don't daisy chain. I already found that drawback.
These are Amazon special.
I mean, ooh, they're bright.
They charge well.
They definitely charge it well.
The fun thing with this one is leave it going for about 5 minutes and then touch the back.
I'll plug it in over here and we'll let it sit and do its thing while we talk about our last lights. These look like the point where we finally went, let's just buy the brand name ones. They've got what looks like adequate cooling. The build quality is reassuringly premium, including glass fronts instead of just plastic. And After that story I read about that event where they lit it up with black lights and they were the wrong wavelength and people had a bunch of eye problems, these seem like the kind of thing I would trust more, but I couldn't help noticing that these are at 2 different wavelengths. So why don't we start with 395?
Sure.
Either of these are safe though, right?
Yep.
Now this is way more like what I would expect a black light to look like. It's got sort of that bluey, purpley hue, but this is supposedly not the ideal.
No, and the blue comes from being at the bottom of our visible range.
Okay.
So the next light actually shows up a lot more white because we're not seeing most of it.
I mean, this one still pops okay, but definitely not as well as our other stuff. What's the 365 look like?
So it shows up very white.
Interesting. Buddy!
And this one, it is 100 watt versus 50 watt.
Right. Okay, so what this tells us is that either our other lights are not actually outputting the power that they say they are, or they're not outputting at the wavelength that they say they are, because that is what it is supposed to look like.
And with the power, they're definitely not. Do you want to check on the cheap one?
Sure. Oh, wow. Okay, it's definitely hot, but this thing claims 150 watts. Cheap 150 watt? Better 100 watt.
I think part of the problem in this demo might be that it's casting more visible light on the vinyl, which hides the glow from us. The good one is definitely still better.
Let's find out. Jake, kill the lights. The answer is yes. So we've got our lights nailed down, but a pre-flight manual charge-up process with the car, it's a little bit ridiculous. So my initial plan for getting the lights pointed at the car was to build a paint inspection booth style light array. After seeing how fast this charges the skins, it seemed kind of silly. So the new plan then is to build a single archway out of extruded aluminum right at the exit of the garage. That way, when I pull out, slowly, it'll charge it up. We'll do that in a sec. First, let's take a look at the delivery of the wrapped car. Dude, it looks sick. It either just looks like unnaturally white in the dark, or it looks green. Way beyond my expectations.
It's amazing how much it charges from a distance.
Yeah, I think we might have overdone it.
How many of these lights did we buy?
11.
Now I'm thinking you should just mount them on the walls in here. Yeah, where's the instructions? This is IKEA, right?
Yeah, it's in my head. But it's very simple. So we've got a bunch of brackets and we've got a bunch of T-nuts.
Oh, those look baller.
These brackets are going to be what hold the top to the sides. And then we've got a bunch of these small ones for things like this.
Just gonna pull a bit out of my sack.
Pardon me?
11 of these? Okay, why don't I work on that?
So they're going to go like that.
This should, in theory, just all bolt together and be happy. Now, we did run into one issue. The bolts that we were intending to use to mount the lights are too long, or rather this material is not thick enough so that when you screw them down, they actually bottom out on the aluminum extrusion and then the light is all floppy. So we had to 3D print some little washers to fill the gap. And now, it's mint.
I hate non-ferrous screws. Technically, they are the higher quality ones. I know. Did you have a plan for how to actually, like, oh, wait. I know. Ta-da! LTTstore.com.
We pretty much got the entire frame put together and now we just have to see, is it sturdy? Oh, that's not bad at all. It's not amazing, but it's pretty rigid. I mean, even if you like bumped into it, like it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna start cable managing, and what better way to do that than the LTT Store cable management stuff, which I don't have in my hand. Although it occurs to me that this is aluminum, which means we're gonna have to mount some of our fancy metal plates to make them stick.
We're so close.
While cable managing our power bars, which are using the little keyhole mounts here, we've run into another issue. The bottom light is too short to reach the power bar if it's on the top.
It fits if it's here.
Yeah.
But we want it up top.
I wonder if I could just open that switch. Ow. Yeah, I don't know about this, Chief. The last piece of this puzzle is automating the lights. We don't want him to have to like turn it on before he leaves because ADHD, he won't remember. We have 2 pieces to accomplish this. It looks pretty simple. It should be pretty simple, but I promise you it's very over-engineered. This Phillips Hue smart plug It's a Zigbee smart plug. We can control it remotely. And this is the Everything Presence one. Kind of like DIY. I think he's a YouTuber that designed this thing. It has a passive infrared sensor similar to security systems in your house, along with a millimeter wave sensor, which is what we're gonna be using today. This, in theory, can just sit like right here. And as soon as the car crosses this line, boom. We don't want like anyone walking through the garage to trigger this thing. So I went ahead and set it to 90 centimeters, which is roughly 3 feet. Oh, it's plugged. Yo, you know, you are.
Hello?
You are insufferable. Watch this. And then I'll walk away. Give it a sec. I set the timeouts to 0, so it should be pretty quick. Boom, off. And if I go over here, isn't that crazy? So cool. All right, you can drive the bloody car in now.
Wow, this looks incredible. You guys cable managed it and everything.
Well, you were listening, so you know the secret.
Well, no, I walked in earlier and I triggered it, so I know the secret. That is freaking awesome, because I was thinking about it. I was like, how are we gonna make sure that it's not just on all the time and I don't have to manually press a stupid thing? That is freaking awesome.
Bruh.
Okay, did the theory work? Does it charge the whole car as you go through? Holy crap, it totally works. It totally freaking works. That is awesome!
No way. Man, sometimes you have good ideas.
I know, right? It was bound to happen eventually.
Like, I have seen the car charged. This is better. Oh, you could do shadow paintings on this too. Do it again, do it again, do it again.
Dude, except under direct street lamp lighting, it flippin' glows like crazy.
I need it to trigger like a touch earlier because it kind of misses the front end, but. Just do that. Oh, yeah.
No way.
There we go. Well, actually, maybe we should have, hold on.
Wait, do we have any of the phones? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Look at this Steam Deck. It looks like it is from a video game. Look at me casually gaming with my glowing, flipping Steam Deck. There's a few different versions. There's Glow Circuit, which is the black and glow, and then there's Short Circuit and Dark Circuit, which is the black on black. I know which one I like.
You might think it's a little bit silly, but imagine if you just had like a UV light in your room. You're in the gaming zone, you flip on your UV light, and now your Xbox looks sick.
Oh man, I can't get over the Steam Deck, dude.
It looks insane.
Let's talk a little bit about the new circuit board drop. This is no normie inkjet printed vinyl. dbrand had to develop a custom process just for this drop using special 3D printed UV gel ink to give it a texture you can really feel. Not just that, but that actually, in my subjective opinion, improves the grip of the device as well. While supplies last, all orders will include this 365 nanometer UV light so you can charge up your phone whenever you want. All you gotta do to get it for yourself is head to dbrand.com/4foot9. Really? Is there another vanity URL? Ground news. Does it ever feel like when you read or watch the news that you're being sold on an idea rather than given just the facts? Well, Ground News is here to help cut through the nonsense and let you come to your own conclusions. They do this by gathering articles on stories from thousands of sources so that you can compare the coverage and how each one leans politically. Take this story where, because Meta was found to be collecting sensitive data from Facebook users, they're currently being fined by South Korea for $15.6 million. You can see on screen that right now, the majority of the sources are leaning left. And thanks to their bias comparison tool, as more articles come in, you'll see a breakdown of what aspects of the story are being focused on by each side. Their blind spot tool is another great feature that'll feed you stories that your own preferences or algorithm might be filtering out. So stay informed the smart way by going to ground.news/LTT or click the link below to get 40% off their unlimited access Vantage plan today.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, actually.
If you guys enjoyed this video, maybe check out the one where we wrapped my car in the first place with that purple holographic skin. That was super cool too. Most glow for the least dough.